God gave Moses 4 signs to convince the children of Israel that he was their Messiah. He knew he was anointed of God to overthrow Egypt and lead the Jewish people to the Promised Land. The next 2 signs God gave Moses were to convince the children of Israel that Moses was their Messiah. Dr. John Hagee cites Moses as the Messiah of Israel, who was to overthrow Egypt. When impetuous Peter could stand it no longer, he blurted out, "You are the Christ," or in other words, "You are the Anointed One. You are the Messiah, who will lead the Jews in their revolt against Rome." Hagee interprets Peter's words to again relate the term Messiah as a political deliverer. Even after his resurrection and repeated denials that he would not be the Messiah, his disciples were still hanging on to the last thread of hope, that he would now smash Rome. Acts 1:6. For reference, Acts 1:6 says, "So when they had come together, they were asking him, saying, 'Lord, is it at this time you are restoring the kingdom to Israel?'" He refused to be their Messiah, choosing instead to be the Savior of the world. Hagee cites Acts 1:6, which is a reference to restoring Israel as a political power. So, we can conclude that Hagee is defining the Messiah as a political deliverer. Therefore, if we were to use this definition, Hagee is correct. Jesus did not come to be a political Messiah. But, Dr. John Hagee has still made a big mistake. He has failed to define his terms adequately and caused an uproar. Remember, Dr. John Hagee said in his book, In Defense of Israel, will prove that
it will also prove that Jesus did not come to earth to be the Messiah. Since Jesus refused by word and deed to claim to be the Messiah, how can the Jews be blamed for rejecting what was never offered?
He did not clarify what he meant by Messiah. Nevertheless, let's take a look at the word as it is used in the New Testament. Something John Hagee should have done, but did not do in his chapter. The English word Messiah is translated from the Greek Messias, and is found only 2 times in the New Testament.
He first findeth his own brother Simon, and saith unto him, We have found the Messiah, which is being interpreted, the Christ. The woman saith unto him, I know that Messiah cometh, which is called Christ. When he is come, he will tell us all things. Jesus saith unto her, I that speak unto thee am he.
We see that Jesus is called the Messiah in John 1:41, and in John 4:25-26 Jesus affirms that he is the Messiah. This flatly contradicts Hagee's statement.
Since Jesus refused by word and deed to claim to be the Messiah,
Dr. John Hagee is just plain wrong. There are 2 significant points worth mentioning here. First, the word Messiah is translated as Christ. Messiah is the Old Testament Hebrew equivalent for the New Testament Greek Christ. So, whenever we see the word Christ used in the New Testament, we know it is speaking of Messiah. Second, Jesus himself affirmed that he was the Christ. Here are some additional scriptures that confirm this.
And Simon Peter answered and said, Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. But he held his peace, and answered nothing. Again the high priest asked him, and said unto him, Art thou the Christ, the Son of the Blessed? And Jesus said, I am. And ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom thou hast sent.
So, since Jesus affirmed that he was the Messiah and the Christ, we must conclude that Dr. John Hagee has clearly not done his homework regarding how the word is used in the Bible. He has failed to do proper research.